Detroit police are investigating the tragic death of two children, a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old at Detroit Greektown's casino. According to police, the family was living in a van and pulled into the casino at around 1 a.m. The mother inside the van, along with 5 children, noticed that one of the kids wasn't breathing. The godmother came and picked up the children, transporting them to the hospital, after which Detroit police were called. It's believed that 2 of them froze to death. Detroit Police Captain Nathan Duda spoke with Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack Monday afternoon and said the minivan pulled into the parking garage early Monday morning around 1 a.m. Sometime after that, the vehicle ran out of gas on the 9th floor of the parking garage. The children, ranging in age from 2 to 13 years old, were living inside the van. I feel sad, very sad, especially as a father. I just can't imagine what the family is feeling. I wish it hadn't have happened, Duda said. He said early indications are that the children froze to death, but that will need to be confirmed by an autopsy. It's incredibly fast, Duda said, about the length of time the kids were in the car and when they passed away. 3 other children, ages 13, 8, and 4, were physically fine but were checked out. A criminal investigation has to happen, Duda says, and Child Protective Services is involved in the case. The children's mother was detained and has provided a statement but is not in custody at this time. This was unnecessary. It didn't have to happen this way, Duda said. The family did have an address on the city's east side, but it appears they have not lived there for a while. The mother and her children are suspected of living in the van for at least the past couple months. Duda said casino security did all it could and couldn't have known, based on the way the van was parked on the 9th floor. It's also not known if the children had any underlying health conditions that could have contributed to their deaths, Duda said. It's believed the car ran out of gas after pulling into the parking garage, but it could have been a mechanical failure. The exact cause of the car not starting isn't known. Duda is urging anyone who sees someone in need like this family to call police. Ask that people be aware of those who are in need. If you see somebody who appears unsheltered and it's sub-zero or cold weather, call 911, Duda said. The captain says Detroit police will transport and help anyone in need. Their mother had contacted City Hall on November 25th, seeking help with housing, but no resolution was reached, Mayor Mike Dugan said a day after the tragedy. For whatever reason, this wasn't deemed an emergency that caused an outreach worker to visit the family. As far as we've been able to determine so far, the family never called back again for service, Dugan said. Dugan and interim police chief Todd Betson spoke to reporters at a Sombre news conference 24 hours after a 9-year-old boy and a 2-year-old girl died of cold exposure in a van at a casino parking garage. There were 3 other children and 2 adults, including their mother, staying inside the vehicle amid below freezing temperatures. It's a terrible day in Detroit, Dugan said of the tragedy, adding that family shelter beds were available just a few miles away. He gave his staff 2 weeks to review the history of the family's contacts with the city. Betson declined to publicly share everything learned by investigators. He said the family had been living out of the vehicle for 2 to 3 months and sometimes chose to park at casinos for safety and access to restrooms. The van stopped running overnight and couldn't produce heat, Benson said. Their mayor said Detroit has 1,400 beds available for people seeking shelter and helpline to call. The shortest way for somebody in an emergency is to go to a police precinct. They will navigate the process and get you to a shelter, Dugan said. After 2 children died of apparent hypothermia in a vehicle in a Detroit casino parking lot this week, their father is now sharing his story with 7 News Detroit. Darnell Curry Sr. wiped away tears while talking with the news about his children, Darnell Jr. and Amelia. He recalls the distressing phone call he says he took from their mother, Tatiana Williams, on Monday. I went to the gym. As soon as I got on a treadmill, she called saying, "Can I make it to the hospital right now?" "They gone," said Darnell. "I was hoping it was a sick joke, but it wasn't. I tried. I asked for help, even people out of state," said Tatiana Williams, the children's mother. I tried. I tried to keep hotels. I tried to pay people to stay there. It wasn't working for me. You know, people just didn't like to have too many kids at their house," she said. Tatiana said she's been living in a car for 3 months, along with her 4 kids, her mother, and 2 teenage siblings. She says she reached out to Darnell, who's the father of the 3 of her children. "I asked him, I said, 'Can you get your kids from me?' I said I need help. You know I'm homeless. I done kept a room this long. I couldn't keep it no more," she said. All she said was, "Can I get 'em? Can I get 'em? Just to get 'em. And I can't get 'em because y'all homeless." "That's 2 different things," said Darnell. Darnell said he didn't know Tatiana was homeless. "She ain't ever said nothing to me, nothing. So all them sob stories, they can cut all that out." "No, she did not," he said. The news asked Darnell if she reached out to any of his family about the situation. "No, she did not. And she knows she could have, like we always used to," he said. He says the last time he held his children was a month or 2 ago, and that they typically FaceTime. Moments he says he will miss. The news asked him, what would he like to see following the police investigation? "It don't even matter to me. Can't get them back, so it's whatever," he said. Funeral arrangements have been announced for 2 children who Detroit police say appear to froze to death while they slept in a van at a downtown casino parking garage. A public visitation will take place from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. February 19th at the new McFall Brothers Funeral Home in Detroit at 9419 Dexter Avenue. Funeral services will start with the family hour at 10 a.m., followed by the funeral proceeding at 11 a.m. on February 20th at Triumph Church, 2760 East Grand Boulevard in Detroit. The new McFall Brothers Funeral Home said in a news release they'll be providing services for the family at no cost. As the community mourns this heartbreaking loss, the overwhelming outpouring of love and support deeply touches the family. At this time, they kindly request privacy as they navigate this unimaginable grief. According to a press release from the funeral home, Deputy Mayor Malia Howard said that the city has been working with the family and the funeral home to coordinate the visitation and funeral services at no cost to the family. The City of Detroit's Housing and Revitalization Department is also trying to secure housing for the family. "We are hopeful that we will have them settled into a safe and comfortable home by this weekend," Howard said in a statement on Thursday. A cousin of the mother has launched a GoFundMe campaign that has raised more than $48,000 so far. I'll throw a link in the description. The cousin writes on the page, "Now everyone will judge and say what they would have done, but let me start by asking y'all to respect my cousin and the fact that she just lost not 1 but 2 children. You cannot prepare for something like this. So before you judge, pray for her and her strength. Then look in the mirror because she ain't do nothing anyone else wouldn't have done. She loved, protected, and did all she could to keep her baby safe on her own. Her only fault was her pride, and that's gut-blowing because as a family, if we knew, we would have tried to help in some way. Although everyone has it, you just have to learn to have it with the right people during the right situations. My baby is broken right now, all because she had too much pride to ask for help. She loves her babies and never expected this outcome. Please show her some grace as God has you." She thought she was protecting her babies by keeping them close to her. The world is cruel, not to mention they look for reasons to take our children away, not help our mothers, so she did her best on her own 10 toes. They stay fed, bathed, and in school regardless of where they slept. They were happy children, and they adored their mommy as she did them. She protected and cared for her babies the best way she knew without asking a effort for nothing. The family had also reached out for help in summer of 2024, the previous year. When they called on November 25th, they said they had been living with a family and couldn't keep living with them, so they needed somewhere to go. Tatiana Williams have since spoke out about the situation published on a Local 4 Click on Detroit News article on February 15th. The article and interview was long, so I'm just going to leave you guys with something she said. I was just trying to keep them warm. Nobody helped me. It took me to lose 2 of my kids to get this help. I don't feel good about it. It's just that I want them back, and I know I can't get them back, but I asked, Williams said. While I was researching this story, I teared up multiple times. This one hits close to home for me. I know how it is to be struggling, homeless, as a lot of us do here in the city of Detroit. We need to do better as a community here in Detroit and as a whole in general around the world. If you see someone that needs help, please don't be afraid to talk to them. Ask them if they need help. If you're the one in need of help, please seek help. Never be afraid to ask someone for help just because of your pride or your ego. We all go through hardships. We all go through struggles in life, and it's okay if you're one of these people. I was one of these people. Shit, I still am sometimes, The world ain't no joke out here, it's tough. I'm praying for the children. I'm praying for the family involved. I will leave links below to the GoFundMe. Also I'll drop some links to some shelters and drop-in centers for, anyone who may be in need. I'm going to do my best by donating my time and attention and, making more awareness of this situation and situations like this. I think it's important to shed light on this. Let's work together for a brighter future. The rest. God bless.